Hey, SUBFURYs! What do you mean I look like I just woke up? My hair's not that bad. I think I just made it worse. Yes, you heard me. After all the comments, requests, and messages, I'm finally going to do it. We are going to talk about the second highest voted dragon in the entire series, the Skrill. Today's video was picked by the actual weirdos as a perk on Patreon, so you can thank them for this video topic. Now, the Skrill actually only appeared in 3 episodes of Dragons, but it has really left a mark on the minds of fans. Not only is it one of the only dragons in the world that can go toe-to-toe with a Night Fury, but it has one of the most powerful, unique, and shocking abilities. It can shoot lightning, but how? Let's get started. Now, at first, the answer seems very simple because at the beginning of A View to a Skrill, Fishleg clearly states that the Skrill draws lightning from the sky and then redirects it. He also explains that the Skrill can store it in its body for use later. But this does raise some questions, like what is in its body biologically that allows it to do this? Now, the Skrill draws lightning from the clouds by attracting it with these metallic spines that are all across its body. Because as I'm sure you know, metal attracts lightning. But we do see in the episode A View to a Skrill that it primarily uses its wings actually to charge its electricity blasts. Now, those things may look like giant talons, but they're actually massive metallic conductors that evolved in order for the Skrill to harness lightning from the sky. The electricity then appears to travel down the veins of the wings, but also more importantly down the ridges across the top of the wing, just beneath the skin. These metallic veins along the wing then transfer the lightning into the main body of the Skrill so that it can redirect it at its enemies. But an interesting point is that the Skrill is also one of the fastest dragons alive. It can almost or always keep up with a Night Fury, but having half of its wings made of entirely metal would make it incredibly slow. So it's my theory that these talons and these veins along the wings are actually not entirely metallic. Rather, there's probably a thin sheet of metal over it, or a metallic material fused in with the bone, as well as the membranes. Remember kids, don't play with electricity unless you're planning to burn your enemies, then it's morally okay. It also uses the metallic spines that you can see along its back, but not as much. You're also probably wondering if it uses the spikes on the crown of its head to charge its attacks, but that's actually probably unlikely. So I was watching the episode and strangely the Skrill never used those spikes to charge its blasts. It never conducted lightning with them, which probably means that those spikes in its crown don't have the metallic material that can be found on its spine or on its wings. And we also know from School of Dragons that the Skrill uses this crown to express themselves, to show dominance. And finally, the Titan wings that we see in Rise of Berk are always more powerful than just the normal dragon. And while the Titan Skrill's spines along its back get bigger when it becomes a Titan, the crown doesn't. And this is probably because the spines along its back help it conduct electricity, but the crown of its head doesn't. But how does the Skrill store the energy? Because we know that it can do that too. Well, in A View to Skrill Part 2, Dagger actually enslaves a Skrill and seems to be able to trigger it to fire a lightning blast whenever he wants. He does this by yanking down on ropes that are attached to the parts of the wings that connect to the main body. This applies pressure to that small point on the body, and the reason that this might work is that there are glands there that hold the energy. An organ that is made up of a type of cell that we call electrocytes. We see these cells in other types of animals that have the ability to shock, like electric eels. They function as sort of a battery that you can charge up for the Skrill. But this does leave us with one more question. How on earth does the Skrill not shock itself? That one we will address in another video. Thanks again to the actual weirdos for suggesting this topic on Patreon. I hope you enjoyed it. And also thank you to the rest of you for telling me what charities you'd want the money to go to, as well as suggestions for perks that you'd want on my Patreon. Really, honestly, very helpful. There'll be more on that later. Of course, in my last video, I said that I would be giving away a t-shirt just like this, which is not the official SUBFURY t-shirt. That competition is still going. Details in the description. I would give this away to a SUBFURY who told me what it meant to be a SUBFURY in the comments of that video. Thank you so much for telling me. I really loved your definitions and it was incredibly hard for me to pick one that could win. Ionabe said I might need some help from Volker here. It bonds us. Being a SUBFURY means not just being part of a community, it means being part of a family. Daniela Smith said that being a SUBFURY means that we can embrace our nerdiness for How to Train Your Dragon and Avatar and so much more. Laura Virgo said it means to be wholly Mishka's loyal slave. Very true. And all of these are correct, and I had a real hard time picking, but the winner of the t-shirt is Brianna Albright, who said the SUBFURY community is so very kind and supportive, unashamed to flaunt our nerdiness to the world. That is the sort of environment I look for in a YouTube community. We all share similar passions and build each other up. Because of that, society may antagonize nerds and geeks and fandom followers, but that doesn't stop us. That, to me, is what being a SUBFURY is about. Protecting and supporting each other and telling the world that we like who we are and there isn't a reason to change. I really did love that, Brianna. Please message me on YouTube. Yeah, you didn't know you could message on YouTube, but you can. Please message me on YouTube so we can figure out what size and how to get that to you. But that's all from me. As always, I would love if you joined other SUBFURYs following me on Twitter, Wattpad, Facebook. Email me or send me stuff that you've made in the links and the address in the description below. Stay nerdy, SUBFURYs, and I'll see you in the future.